Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. You can see all my books are packed away. Looks a little different back there. It'll look a whole lot different in a couple of days. I'm in the process of moving still, and I am regretting my book spending habits now as I'm trying to box up all my books. Books are heavy. If you didn't know that, you now know that. And moving books sucks. So slow and steady wins the race. That's just, I've only packed up 3 bookshelves worth of books, and I have a bookshelf that is twice as big as this one left to go. Kill me. Long story short, it's gonna take a while, but alas, here I am pumping out content for the love of the game. Wanted to make a video, I think it's about time. Well, that sounds ominous, but it's been enough time since I've finished Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson to really weigh in on the series as a whole. If you saw the title of this video, which you probably did, you didn't just like randomly pick a video to watch, it'll probably be called something along the lines of, is the Stormlight archive worth reading? And to save you the extra 9.5 minutes, yes, I think it is worth reading. There you go, job's done. I'll see you in the next video. But I wanted to break it down a bit more than that, why I think it's worth reading, and just sort of voice my opinions. I know there's been a lot of negative discourse, and rightfully so, on Wind and Truth. It wasn't the best end to a series, but it was an end to the series, and I think the series as a whole carries much more weight than how it ends, if that makes any sense. Like, the journey through the series itself is more important than how it ends. I guess that journey before destination, holy shit, look at me. But yeah, I have them all here. I don't know why I brought them all out. It's like 50 pounds, Jesus. I have them all here. Way of Kings, Words of Radiance, Oathbringer, Rhythm of War, Wind and Truth, I guess. And then also I have these two, the 2 novellas. Ugh. Dawn Shard and Edge Dancer. So I guess what we can do is go through one by one of each book's spoiler free, I guess. As spoiler free as I can make it. And I'll try my best, but read the series. Anywho, is the series worth reading? Yes, for a multitude of reasons. I think The Way of Kings is just an awesome fantasy book as its own, and you should definitely just read this book in general if you like fantasy, not necessarily to read it in order to finish the series, but you should just read it as if it's a standalone. And if you want to pick up the next book, then you can, which leads me into the next book, which is probably one of the top 5 books I have ever read, Words of Radiance, book 2 in the series. This just sort of takes the first book and elevates it. You know what the world is about, you know all the magic systems, all the characters have been introduced, you know, decent enough part of their backstory to sort of put 2 and 2 together. Some of the reveals in this book are insane. And yeah, it's just the perfect book 2 in a series. I've never really liked book 2 better than book 1 out of any series. I'm looking at my fantasy shelf here, contemplating. I don't think I have, no. I have not. Well, maybe that's a story for a different video, but Golden Sun over Red Rising, I think I liked it better. It's been like 2 years since I've read them, but I think I liked Golden Sun better. Yeah. Anyways, it's rare that it happens that the second book is better than the first. And that just goes to show this, and this being one of the best books ever. This is the highest rated book on Goodreads of all time, I think, and it has like 4 million ratings or something. Insane. For that reason alone, you should read it after the first book, of course. And then, since you're already 2 books in, you might as well finish the series, am I right? After that book, I believe, comes Edge Dancer, the novellas. I guess this brings up the point, like, are the novellas mandatory to read? Probably not, but they do provide a lot of good context, and it's just more content in this world. This world of Roshar is a fascinating one, and I wanted to read a whole lot about it, so I picked these up. I think I got these on Thrift Books, brand new for like $9 each, I think. But they're hardback novellas, quick read. You can read these in 2 days. They're so easy to read, and they do provide some context as to some characters that will come into play later on, sort of their backstory and why they're relevant. Written after the fact, so there is some embellishing going on, but what the hell was that? Did you hear that? That's like storming outside, I guess. Wind and everything, wind and truth, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, Edge Dancer, I think this is a good read as well. And it breaks up the monotony of reading 1,500 page books over and over and over again. So for that reason alone, I think you should read the novellas. Consider them part of the canon, if you will. Well, literature major here. Brings us to a third book in the series, Oathbringer. This one was good. Wasn't my favorite. Yeah. Trying to like think of like stuff that happened in each book. My brain sort of thinks of the whole series as one book. So trying to compartmentalize the things that happened here. Yeah, this was a good book. Again, this is the longest book to date. Each book gets longer and longer and longer. That's sort of a theme. So be prepared for long books. But yeah, this was good. I enjoyed this a lot. I think I listened to this on audio for the most part, which maybe why I'm not remembering a whole lot about it. My reading comprehension on audio versus reading a physical book definitely dwindles. So yeah, Oathbringer. It tells the well, no spoilers, but this is a solid third book in the series. Which brings me to the fourth book, where if you watched my first video on this channel, my top 10 books of 2024, I think I lied and I said Rhythm of War was my favorite book because I had just finished it at the time, so definitely some recency bias there. Oh no, I lied on the internet. Someone cuffed me. Words of Radiance, book 2 is definitely my favorite, but this one is probably my second favorite. Very good. It sort of takes a turn. It tells a different story than the other 3 books. Well, they're all different stories, but this one tells it a bit differently. And this one you can definitely tell it's like a big crescendo to the final book. Very, very good. It sort of sets the stage again for the last book, which brings me to, not the last book, I think Edge Dancer comes next, this novella. Again, shorter than, oh no, I already talked about, Jesus, long day. Dawn Shard, not Edge Dancer. And this one was good too. It's sort of like piratey themed adventure story. It's short, it's very good. It's a succinct story. So yeah, provide some canon to some characters that pop up in the last book, Wind and Truth, which I have mixed feelings about, obviously. I saw some takes that were, or a take that stuck out with me, let me say, says, or not a take, but something I noticed was that people that generally like binged this book in a week or less loved it, and people that took their time and read it over a month or 6 weeks generally disliked it. I got this book like right when it came, the day before it came out. I got it early, and it sat on my shelf for like 6 weeks. I didn't watch any videos, and then I started reading it, and I immediately knew it was different, and I didn't like it at first. And then watched like a whole ton of spoiler-free reviews on it, and came to the conclusion that in order for me to finally enjoy or not finally, but in order for me to enjoy this book, I may want to just sort of sit down and grind it out. So that's what I did. I got my Audible book of the month was Wind and Truth, and that's basically all I did. I read it in like a week, and it was okay. There are still very much glaring issues, but I think I was reading it so fast it didn't give my time to think and like dwindle on them. Keeping spoilers out of this. Yeah, not the best ending, but it is an ending and provides some wrap up to the first arc of the series. Which then brings me to the final point of, is the series worth it? Which I said a minute and a half into this video. Yes, it is worth it. The first 4 books I think are fantastic. The novellas are good. The last book has some elements in it that are very good. I think the main issue comes in the fact that there are also some parts in the 5th book that are just dreadful. Like, completely takes you out of the story, which nothing like that had happened before in the first 4 books or the novellas, which I see is sort of the main complaint here, and rightfully so. That's one I have as well. But all that being said, yeah, definitely give it a shot if that at all interests you. Like I said, read the first book as just a standalone fantasy epic book, epic story, sort of a story of redemption and found family. If that sounds up your alley, give it a shot, and just see where the story takes you. If it compels you to pick up the second book, do that. If the second book compels you to pick up the third, do that. And then when you don't like it, stop, because these books are giant and they're a commitment. And to some people, to me, I mean, it took me over a month to read each book, except Wind and Truth, which I read in like 10 days, just because I wanted it to be over. That sounds bad. Because I wanted to see how it ended. That's better. So yeah, take your time with them, enjoy them, journey before destination and all that. If you know, you know. And yeah, let me know if you have read these books and what you think of them. Definitely a commitment. I think it's like 6,400 pages. Yeah, that's not nothing. For some people, that's all they read in a year. So that, I mean, take that information as you will. But these are just my opinions. Feel free to let me know if you've read these in the comments or what you think of the series. If you have read them, consider subscribing if you aren't subscribed already. If you're new here, give it a like if you liked it and things of that nature. Be on the lookout for, I guess I don't know when my next video will be out because I'm moving. I don't really have a whole lot of time. And all my books are packed away except for these because they're heavy. But yeah, maybe certainly my next weekly reading recap will be in the new place. I don't know if I'll record a video between now and then. We will see. So stay tuned for that. I'll have to do a full library tour because I have a library now. Maybe I'll do like an apartment tour as well. Let me know what you guys think about that. Floated the idea of like some lifestyle videos, interior design I'm sort of into now. Space creation, things like that. Let me know what you think of that. But I'll definitely do a bookshelf library tour, that's for sure. But appreciate you watching up until this point. That was sort of a yap session at the end. Appreciate you being here. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you in the next one.